Hi, Year Nines. I'd like to talk to you about prisms today. The first thing we're going to look at here is what is the definition of a prism? It says here a prism has it's supposed to say has two identical ends and parallel sides. So, for example, this first shape here has a hexagon at this end and a hexagon at the other end, which we can't see, and then it has parallel sides down here. This yellow one is also a prism. It's a very unusual prism, and we'll call it an irregular prism. It's got an L shape at this end. It's got an L shape at the other end, and then all these lines are parallel to one another. It looks a little bit like some stairs. And the second thing we need to know is they are named after its base. So this one, because it's got a hexagon at the top and the bottom, we're going to call this one a hexagonal prism. And this one, well, I guess we could call it an L-shaped prism, or if you like, we could call it a step prism. So here's a few other prisms. This one's got a triangle top and bottom. So this is a triangular prism. This one's got a pentagon, 5 sides, so a pentagonal prism. And this is our most common one here, a rectangular prism. So it's got a darker purple rectangle front and back, and then all the other sides are also rectangles. This one's a trapezoid or a trapezium front and back, so we're going to call this one a trapezoidal prism. And this one here is a very special prism. All the sides are squares, so all the sides are exactly the same length and width. It's a bit like a dice. We call this one a cube. How about this one? Do you think this one's a prism? There's some debate. I'd say yes, it is a prism because we've got a circle top and bottom, parallel sides. But we're going to treat this one separately. Okay, here we've got a few examples of things which are not a prism. This one's not a prism, it's a cone. This one's not a prism, it's a truncated pyramid. This one's not a prism, this one's also a pyramid. Here's another not a prism. This is an octahedron. We don't need to deal with the ones which are not prisms, only the ones which are prisms. All right, what are we going to do with them? We need to be able to measure their surface area. So what we can do is we can open them out in our imagination, spread them out as if they're flat. So if we've got our rectangular prism here, if we chopped along all the sides, if this was a box, we could open it out and you'd see that the two ends here, one end, there's the front and the back. These lighter purple ones, this one must be the bottom, this is the top. And then the two skinny rectangles are the sides, like this side here. So this rectangular prism is made of 3 sets of rectangles. 2 long skinny ones, 2 bigger ones, which are the top and the bottom, and then these 2, which are the ends. So we're going to work out the surface area of that rectangle by working out the area, the surface area of the rectangular prism. We need to work out the area of each one of those rectangles and add them together. Here's another example, a triangular prism. So if we cut this open, this is like a Toblerone box. If we cut this open, we're left with a triangle at the top, a triangle at the bottom, and then the sides are 3 rectangles. So to work out the surface area of this triangular prism, we'd have to work out the area of each of these rectangles, add them together, and then work out the area of the top triangle and the bottom triangle. So that's our little introduction to prisms, and I'll just go through a couple of examples now of how to calculate the surface area.